All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. This is the May 2023 meeting for Rocky Mountain Rugby Referees. So today's major topic is, unless I have, it is the meeting is going to be, we're going to talk about a little bit of administration stuff, and then because we're going into playoffs for high school, there's semifinals this weekend, and then there's finals the weekend after. And then also there's policies in place for how many assistant referee slots. We're opening up more and more assistant referee slots. We're going to talk about assistant refereeing, as well as we're going to talk about acting as the number 4, which is the sub-controller, substitution manager that we have, and the rules and laws that deal with that. But the first thing that we're going to talk about is, so what are the things that Paul's not on, so great. Please make sure that we have RDOs that are making assignments. We have 3 of them. They often are coming through, they're coming through me because I'm actually going into ref up and blocking it out. But please make sure that you take those assignments as they come in. It's a real big pain in the rear when people aren't taking them. And I don't know if that's because they're getting lost in the sauce or if you need to decline. You need to decline. Please communicate that with, preferably with me and also the other RDOs. That way we can take it off and readjust.
You're saying match suggestions?
Not match suggestions. It's when we're actually shutting it off from anybody else's bid.
What's that come with?
I don't know.
I'm getting a couple of texts from people saying you can't.
I can't do it either.
You can't log in? Okay. Let me just onto my work email. Go to Zoom. To share this.
Share it on that.
Yeah, right.
What's the Zoom meeting?
Here we go. Invite. Copy invite link. Go over here, and then we're going to go like this. We're going to go into emails.
And not in the email?
It was supposedly the link is not good. I don't know why. So, for some reason, all right. Can you check that email that was just sent out to see if you're able to get on it? You got it? Okay, Angela's on. You can bail out. I'm in the meeting, right?
The note that I'm getting tells me that you're in another meeting.
Okay. Angela got it.
Okay. Now we'll get out of it.
Meeting.
I'm trying. Sure. I'm getting out of here.
We got people. Yep, we're good.
All right. All right. To be fair, it is the same link every week. So if you
Right. What is it? Property in the UK is buy square foot piece of property. You get that. I work with a lady in the UK.
But if you're an American citizen, you're not supposed to use it.
Well,
like
yeah,
what, Bill Gates, right? So he was knighted to the point where he could be a sir, but because he's an American citizen, he can't be called. All right. Well, we're getting everybody in. Fantastic. All right, we're just going to power through. All right. Sorry, everybody, for the bad link. This is what you get when you don't show up to the meetings.
Progressive much today?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel. All right. So as we were talking about, we're going to talk about AR appointments, or AR roles, as well as substitution officials. Paul, you're on. If you could unmute, if you've got updates to give everybody, that'd be great.
First and foremost, just keep an eye out. I'll be sending out some professional looking somewhat invites for our first annual, hopefully annual end of season gala dinner. Some final things are still in process, but it'll probably be mid-July. And so we'll have more details out for that here shortly, hopefully by the end of the week.
So this is going to be this will be a dinner for everybody. We're going to have it. It'll be we're going to be shooting for number ones. So shirt, tie, and similar level of event. If you have any, we haven't said it. We haven't completely said it. It's dependent on things. But it'll be a Evite. You'll be able to bring significant others. The price point for your significant other will be a part of the invite. This is something that we've kind of been hinting at with the change of face that's going on at with the Aspen Ruggerfest, and also that local competition here, the D3 Cup, or the D3 competition is actually going to be active during that week. So we can't have everybody absconding off to Aspen. Anything else, Paul?
Nothing, just, normal reminders, guys. if you don't hear a confirmation within 72 hours, the sooner you can let me know, the better. We've had a lot of issues recently where we don't get a confirmation, and then I send my nastygram out and find out that they either don't need a referee or don't need as many referees. And it's really frustrating because in certain situations, we could have allocated those referees for other situations that they may be, qualified for and stuff like that. So that's not on you guys, um, if I can get my notification, my communication out sooner, we can reallocate those that want to, referee on a Saturday out to games that they want. Last week we had almost every referee that was available in use, and some weekends in the near future are going to be the same way. So just let me know if you hear any information, and if you guys win a bid and you can't do it, cancel it in ref up as soon as possible as well, so that's reopened to other referees, and or so I can scramble to get that match covered, and maybe communicate a little bit extra with me regarding that if it's within the week. Just we've had those situations too. So
Mike Morrison, any updates for L1 and whatnot?
Sorry, it's craziness in my house right now, but yeah, no update yet. I've been texting Jimmy, but maybe I should email KJ. I emailed Regis. It looks like they're not prepared to do it this season. So we can just push for our own one then.
Yeah, we'll try. We should try to get one as soon as we can.
Okay.
We have a couple of people. So there's that. Finally, thanks, Mike. Finally, so as I have quietly talked about in the last meeting, we are going to be doing sponsorships. That the slideshow for that is going to be sent out later this week. That is going to be for our weekly jerseys. The price points it's $2,000 for a chest placement, and it's $500 for an arm placement. We have 2 sleeves, and then $500 or $500 for a shorts placement. You would be in line for that for at least 3 years is what our point was for how long it would be. 501(c)(3), so that's a good option for people. If they're going to be if they're looking to get a tax write-off, that sort of thing. The benefit for all of you is that Brighton, can you mute?
okay.
The benefit to you is that for every $500 you get, you will receive an equivalent of 5 credits for your kit. Basically, what that means is that if you bring in a sponsor, you will then get your jersey for free. We'll have a couple of options. Those are going to be looked to put into place for the beginning of the fall season. Finally, if you've received coaching in the past from the Rocky Mountain Rugby Referees Society, please make sure that you review the reports as they come to you. That a lot of hard work is being put into getting a coach to you, as well as what the actual work is being done by the coaching management staff. So acknowledgement of their issue, of their coaching to you, that is beneficial. So that way we can move and advance forward. Any questions on that part?
Can I ask one thing about the L1?
Can you speak up?
If somebody went through an L1 4 years ago, do they need to go again? Or
nope.
You started the
L1s and other education, specifically the L1, that's the most important one. That doesn't expire, right? It checks the box. It goes into, as long as it's in Rugby Explorer, you can actually go down. You see the fact that you're a certified, that you've taken the L1. That doesn't expire. You're allowed to referee rugby to the level to that extent. If you're starting to notice that you're dropping off email, I mean, that's weird for me to kind of say to the people that are there. But if you talk to somebody like, hey, I haven't seen you referee in the past 6 months or something like that, please have them reach out to the executive committee, and we'll put you back on the emails if you dropped off or something like that. So while Mark's still working on his thing, I'm going to give it over to the chair of Rugby Colorado Disciplinary Committee, Bruce. Yep. Jim has some topics that he wants to talk to us about real quickly before we get into the assistant referee technical zone stuff. Jim, take it away.
Thanks, Joe. First, a couple of apologies. The first one, most of you haven't seen me for a couple of years, or maybe even longer. That I used to be a pretty regular attendee here, and when COVID came around, I enjoyed the break. Started building a house in Mexico, and I've been going down there the first week of every month for about 18 months now. So I haven't called in from Mexico, but I still think about you guys very infrequently. And the second thing is that when I talked to Joe about coming over and talking a little bit about reports and cards, I told him I'd pull up a bunch of cards and give you some examples under the incident reports of a good report and a bad report as far as us trying to adjudicate it. And I printed out 3 pages of them, thought I had it in this briefcase, and I decided it must be in the other, and I assume it's now on my desk, so I do not have the handouts, but it's pretty easy to explain what some of them look like. Many of you may remember an incident report that came out last year from a new referee. And the incident report was a red card. She ran down the field. She grabbed her ponytail. She forced her to the ground. I do not have her name. Do not have her number. I was told I did not need to keep up with either of those, but the red card was given. So there's not a lot we can do with that. I mean, I really keen. I could have called the coach. But Joe asked me at the start here, did we have a rule on how quickly we adjudicate a red card? And we do. If we get it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's almost 100% done by Thursday or Friday. We hate to do them Friday. I don't know, I think I got a peanut or something in the back of my throat here. Anyway, yeah, thanks, Joe. That you take that AAP and one's picking up the other. It's very impressive that you guys can't do that. Anyway, where the hell were we?
Speed of the return.
The speed of turnaround, yeah. And another thing you guys have been absolutely fantastic on is getting cards in quickly. And a couple of times Rugby Colorado has a glitch and we don't get them for a week. And once or twice we didn't get them for 3 weeks, and I got in trouble with Jim because we refused to adjudicate them if they're 3 weeks old. And a player ostensibly has been sitting out for 3 weeks waiting to hear, when he can return to play or she can return to play. And that's what we've done, is just said, if we can't do any better than that, we can't expect the kids to be able to follow the rules when we can't follow our own rules. Jim doesn't like that reasoning, but I understand why. But anyway, I can't think of many cases where we didn't get it back by Thursday. And if it's a misconduct report, that could take much longer, but that doesn't have quite the urgency many times that a red card does when a kid wants to know if they're going to be able to play or how many games they're going to miss. We've also gone to restorative justice in many cases. So if a player, first-time offender, coach says that the guy's been out there for 2 weeks, we didn't do a good job of coaching. It's his last game. He's a senior. He'd like to do something else. We always give him at least a week. But for the other week, we just did this a couple of weeks ago. Let a guy come referee on 3 successive weekends in the tri-league, certainly not in the high school league, but can come out to try and do touch rugby for 3 weeks in lieu of one of the weeks off. The main thing I wanted to talk to you about is last week we got a fairly experienced referee that issued a red card, which came through our system. But just about the time to me, the referee had a change of heart and had decided to retract that card. No, we're not gonna do any names here. That doesn't matter. It's happened from time to time. And unfortunately, before I got to it, a couple of members on my committee were writing to thank this particular referee for having the courage to go back through and review the film and decide that what he'd done really didn't warrant a red card, and that we were so happy to have it as a yellow now. But I just wanted to remind you guys, and I'm sure 85% of you know, that once a red card's issued, if play hasn't resumed, you've got a chance if you realize you grabbed the wrong guy, or it was 2 yellows and an assistant referee comes up and says, no, he got one and he got the other. He didn't get both of them. It shouldn't be elevated to a red. But something like that before play is started, you can change it there. But once play is resumed, you don't change it. Feel quite free to send a note to the disciplinary committee saying, I talked to 2 or 3 people who saw it, and apparently I totally missed it. The guy was very remorseful. I'm begging for leniency for the player, and the disciplinary committee can take it up. But please don't issue red cards and then make it clear that you've taken them back again. It's just a real mess for everybody.
Is there talking about the report? So we had this conversation with Martin at the beginning of this season.
Yep.
But can you talk about the level of detail that you're looking for when it comes to a report? Like, we're obviously she had green eyes,
yes,
as she ripped her hair out.
Well, and I was going to give you some examples. But some say it was the 32nd minute. The game. It was a clear day. I just taken my second swig of water, and Louis, who was wearing a blue jersey, was trotting down the field. We don't want any of that stuff. That's just the 32nd minute may be helpful, but certainly not the rest of it. We get everything from it was clearly a dump tackle in front of me, period, to a background on all the number of times that they've seen him. I should start out by saying it's got one hell of a lot better. The reports by and large are just spot on. 32nd minute, I had warned them very strictly before the game about high tackles. I had warned both the captains 5 minutes into the game, and I had already given a penalty for a high tackle when a dump tackle was given right in front of me, so it was a yellow card or a red card. Those are great. The player was not injured. There was no retaliation. All of those things are helpful. It can even save us a call. Typically, I would call the referee. But if it's a good report, sometimes I don't need to talk to the coach. And coach says, yep, exactly like the referee reported it. We're expecting him to sit out 2 weeks unless there's something different. But what we're typically looking for is aggravating or mitigating circumstances the aggravating might be that he flipped the guy off, spat in his eye, and swarmed off to the side. We'd like to know things like that. Mitigating, the guy apologized profusely, was crying all the way to the sideline. Complete gentleman, shook the guy's hand, apologized to him, it's those sort of things that help us decide whether it's going to be. We can reduce it if it's the base level entry point. We've got the ability to cut the recommended sanction by 50%. If it's mid entry or top end, then we can't. But it's those things. You know, what were the mitigating or the aggravating circumstances around the red card that gives us something to work with.
So aside from the after the fact mitigating stuff, you can take into account things like it was a dump tackle, but he tried to control the return to earth.
Sure,
or
no,
that's a dump tackle and he intentionally drove his face.
Absolutely, and those are very, very different than the way we would adjudicate it.
Yeah, but you want that in the report.
Absolutely.
And of course, player name, number.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't always have access to PITP. But
yeah,
we got jersey numbers.
Yeah, but if we know the player and we know the team, we're set. And if we don't know the player, but we know the number in the team, then we can quite often get that. But it would be really helpful, and you generally do it. But if you've got a number and you know which team, go to the rep or the coach at halftime or after the match and say, hey, what's this guy's name? Because
we should have that on the roster.
You should, but rosters tended to be pretty loud.
They do.
The numbers are straight.
Only thing is they can't count. They do. Yeah, what's meant to be done is through Rugby Explorer is like the teams have to submit a roster and that's approved, and then that will be
available,
shown to you.
It's supposed to be. They're supposed to show you and say, see, this is us submitting a roster, and that's it, because the society is outside of the organization.
Yep.
They have been less than willing to give us access to those.
Perfect.
So yeah, but they are required. Like, yeah, it can be the worst red card. You could have managed this worst way possible, but I'm sure that Jim and Martin will back you. That if you go over to the coach and say, hey, the guy that I red carded, number 4, what was his name? And if they say, go pound sand, I'm sure that there's going to be,
we absolutely,
we have the ability to administrate that out. So feel free to go over and ask and get that information, because they will help you. Does anybody have any questions for Jim? What's the biggest ban that you've handed out?
The biggest ban?
Yeah.
Typically a 1-year suspension, and it's almost always been to coaches. We've done 3 of those.
I say nothing about coaches. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
All right. So you said go. Cool. Moving on. We're going to talk about assistant refereeing. So, Mark, you have your share. We're going to talk about assistant refereeing. Specifically, I think we're going to do some role play. We're going to do some role play. Talk about the questions. Talk about the process. If anybody watched the game from yesterday, Raptors and Penarol, Steve Gore and I were on the sideline with a referee from Argentina, and we had 5 yellow cards. And also Chris O'Malley was our television match official, TMO. And thanks to our wonderful scorekeepers, we were actually able to leave before midnight, thanks to Angela and Noah. On those. So.
Okay, so this is just a template that is a pretty good idea.
It's microphone.
Audio?
It's got a microphone.
This is just a template that I've kind of created, and it's a pretty good, useful tool as you are a referee who is going into a match that has ARs. It's nice to kind of put this together for everyone, like at the beginning of the week, so the ARs have some time to think about it. And it's not just like 5 minutes before the match. I want you to do all these things of which no one ever remembers. So basically, you can just put in like who versus who. This is the date. If you want to give it a hashtag, like something you're working on, like whatever. This is where it can all be tied to stuff into advantage. Likely, most of you are not, but whatever. You can put your game plan in here, some details about maybe the details about the weights. They like the ball a lot, this team likes scrum a lot, and then your goals for the match. Just something that you can kind of help, the ARs can help you work on. And then here are some categories that, as a referee, you know, what are some of your pre-match objectives in the pre-match chat? Like, you want to talk X, Y, and Z about scrums. You want to say this about line out, penalty kicks or quick throws, or something about foul play, warm up, do the coin toss, gear check as a team. I don't know if we even do gear checks anymore. You know, keep it simple. And then just obviously here are the primary duties. And I'll make this available to everyone. We don't have to really go through every detail. But obviously you watch the ball until the quick throw is in, quick throw is off, anticipate and get in position early. For touch and goal, once you adjudicate a touch and goal and you see a clear ground, you can say try. Or you could use comms if you have it. Try not to throw your thumb up there if you have comms, because if you throw your thumb up there and the referee says no try, you kind of don't look like a very supportive team, right? If you have any reason for not to award the try, you just come into the comms, say check, as a trigger. So it's either try, happy days, check, and then that referee doesn't award the try. He's kind of come over and talk to you. For the trailing referee, the ball gets kicked a great distance, or they're playing advantage on something, just try and hold the mark or make a little line on the touch line. Going to go back to that mark. It's great when you get it right on the money. I know that it's gridiron is a game of inches, but it's not. You don't want to award a scrum that's 10 meters farther away than what it should be. For foul play communication, this is very crucial. If you have a high tackle that's only going to be a penalty only, just try and use the columns and just say, Jim Russell, I have a foul play, high tackle on blue 13. Right? If you have something that's probably going to need a sanction higher than a penalty only, put your flag out and come into the columns. Dale Burnout, I have a foul play on blue 13 for a dangerous tackle. Or you could add any of the, you know, if you have like, oh geez, someone just got murdered, Don Dowling, I have serious foul play against blue 14, right? And then they'll kind of know that. But getting color and number is very, very important. Whenever you are trying to comment stuff, I know it's very exciting, and I see this at the top level, that you're so lucky and you're so happy you just caught that penalty that you want to get that into the referee as soon as possible. But if you think about it, they are just concentrating on refereeing the match. So you just come in, blue 10 offside. It's just, yeah, I didn't catch that. So there's no urgency. You can just go, Mike, blue 10, never onside. And that gives them a chance. It triggers them to like go, oh, what? Okay. Oh, okay. I heard my name. So now something's coming in, right? I know that you think there's urgency to get that call in as fast as possible because the game needs it, but the referee needs to like get triggered to hear his name and then think about what you're going to say. So just slow that down. Again, before you send that in there, does the match need the call, or are you just guys being too tactical? Yes, that wing was offside, but did it affect play? Is it something you can give to him during downtime? Is it decision everyone in the grounds knows it should have been called, right? If there's some stuff behind me, you can't just say late hit or behind the referee. You know, I have green 13 on a very late and dangerous hit on the 9 as he was passing behind you. You can just send that information in, right? Referees on that matter should acknowledge that, thank you, I heard that, I'm going to play on. You should, every time an AR calls in something, you should acknowledge it. That way the AR knows that the comms are working and that they don't get frustrated and he's not taking my calls or he's not listening to me or maybe speaking only in Spanish. You know, just I heard that, I'm going to play away from it. I saw that. Thank you for that. Keep it coming if you're not going to take the calls. If you're not going to take it, yeah, I'm fine with it. Just acknowledge the call. So at least they know the comms are working. If there is a foul play discussion and you're going to go time off, referee should probably lead the discussion if he's seen the event, if they have seen the event. Try and provide information only in the framework, and I'll show that in the next series of PowerPoints. If it's unobserved action, try to tell the story within the framework. I have clearly 15 picking up the blue player. It's a lifting tackle, and he was dropped on his lower back and side. Okay, what's everyone going to do with that? What's the outcome of that, Brendan?
Go back to yellow.
Right.
Yellow.
Yellow card. Okay. I have a head-to-head contact, direct contact with the head with a high degree of force, and I have no mitigation. Yeah.
Because, and everybody, we're going through this quickly. We're going to go through the foul play frameworks. Yeah.
Yep.
In a second, but that's the way that you should flow through, right? This is what happened. Okay. So,
yeah. If for some reason you do send something in like that, like I have direct contact with the head with a high degree of force against blue 15, and the referee says, what you're telling me is that there's a dangerous tackle, direct contact with the head, and I think I'm going to go penalty only. You just kind of reiterate to the referee, Brendan, it was direct contact to the head with high degree of force with zero mitigation. And if he's like, the referee's like, yep, penalty only, you've done your job. Like the referee is the sole judge of law and fact. Hopefully Jim, Mike, and Joe will catch that on review and we'll change that behavior, but you've done your job. And if you know, but as a referee, you'd be like, oh, why are you telling me this twice? As a TMO, we can go, I have one more angle to show you of this. And that should be a trigger to the referee who's like, yeah, I don't think you're getting to the right outcome. But we go over this tackle framework over and over and over. It's on a lot of the D1A calls. It's on a lot of WPL calls, which some of our referees are on, that we should all know these, and I'll have it listed out, right? Scrums, what do you need your AR to do at scrums? Right? Lineouts, what do you need your AR to do at lineouts? This is where you can give them things to work on.
On outside.
Yep. This is like whatever you need your ARs to do. You want your ARs to do jumping jacks at the lineout? Great, put it in there. But like this is for you guys, and it's just a bit of a template. Tackle, ruck, and maul. What should the ARs be focusing on? You know, dangerous charging, neck rolls, illegal clearouts, past the ruck, clear obvious entry. Put yourself in a position on offside line at the back foot of every ruck. Work hard to get there. We've had some ARs in national competitions just kind of standing there, facing the ruck, just watching the game and no clear offside line set. Right? You need the comments. You're clearly seeing something. You know, it's black, black, black for a penalty if it's against black. And then when the referee blows that penalty, black 13 entry. Right? This is something that's marginal offsides are a management issue. So let them know at a scrum and a line out, a conversion, right? Marginal offsides. The referees should be taking the shooters. So the ARs are not to call in offside. They're to manage and call in never onside. They never got back to an onside position. The referees should be taking the ball out timing of the shooter coming up. If it is something that you want to maybe communicate to, you could just say, Jim Russell, scan left. And, you know, that should be like a trigger of like, did I see something or not? And then that referee can make that decision, right? After the ball away, watch for the ball offenses on 9 and 10. And then don't move away from that breakdown until everyone's on their feet moving away. Mall offenses, help them get a number. It's really tough to do because the guy at the bottom of the pile with the number in his back probably took that down. If you see a referee struggling with like, hey, one of you is offside, and you know that's 13, just comment 13, right? Any trends or stuff, you could feed it next options. It's 3 penalties in a row on blue at the breakdown. Keep focus on the players on the ground. Everyone doesn't have to look up at the ball because it's going to come down eventually. And the foul play is potentially on the players, right? Safety is paramount. Management possible. If you're trying to keep 7 blue from going back, just, you know, blue 7 offside if he doesn't go back. All right, so oops. Get to my other PowerPoint. Nope. Should have brought my glasses. Right.
It's important for the referees, I think, who are getting assistant referees to who are going to get assistant referees, that they send out this type of level of communication, this pre-work early. You know that you're going to have an assistant referee, hopefully 10 days in advance, right? That's the way that we are set up. So 10 days in advance, you should know assistant referees. Send that information out then. Be able to have that conversation early, right? One of the things that we talk about when it comes to the pre-scrum chat, like with the teams, right? You're not going to be talking about, you don't talk about the specifics. You're generally covering your bases because you're not 30 minutes or an hour before the match. You're not going to change behavior. If you go over 25 different topics prior, like in the 20 minutes before a game, as everybody's trying to get kitted up and stretch, nobody's going to remember anything. So think about that level of pre-work and set them up for the benefit. You good on your question? No. Cool. All right. Is there any questions right now from the online gallery?
Not right now, thanks.
No, thank you.
So we've done this in the past. I've changed some of the clips right now. So this is a little bit of role play. And I really don't know how it's going to work with Zoom because you guys will not have an unfair advantage. The goal of this is to role play a little bit where Don Dowling will watch a clip. He's an AR, and he is going to watch this clip, describe the foul play that happened in the clip to another referee, let's just say Brendan, who will not watch the clip, and then lead him to the right outcome based on using the correct communication. So I guess we're going to go have on the trust factor of all the people on the chat, and we will just kind of set this up, and you will kind of, you know,
who's going to be the referee?
Well, I guess we could do it in here. So yeah. What we could do is all the people who did not decide to make it to the meeting will be the ARs. So you're going to get your practice. I can control it if the referees here are Angela, Dale, Mike, Dawn, Brendan, and Jim Bruce can get to the right outcome. So
how about this? So this first one, I'll be the referee. Brendan will be the assistant referee. You guys watch the clip, and then I come back and I do the questions.
Well, he has to talk to you.
Yeah,
you're the ref.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. First one is just don't watch. Yeah. So Brendan is the AR, and Joe's going to be the ref. So, well, let's just go through this a little bit.
I'll be an obnoxious parent.
No. Wait, are you role playing it?
No, I can do that way anytime.
Again, we went through this in the last thing: penalty only, flagging, foul play, serious foul play. Right here is the tackle protocols. Right. These are your key words. And we will make this available. So let's get to the practicals. All right, Brendan, you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, Brendan. Ooh, why am I echoing?
You're not muted.
Yeah, so waiting for it to play.
Oh, you're not. Wait, quiet on yours. Okay. Mute yourself.
You got it.
All right.
So that needs to be muted. I think
you need to be muted. I'm good because that's that.
Okay.
Time off. Walk over, Brendan. Hey, Brendan. I did not see the incident. Any incident?
I've got contact off the ball by green 14, preventing.
Speak up.
Project my voice.
You can't.
I have contact off the ball by green 14 on 11 white, preventing competition for the ball in the air. Low level force.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is I've got green 14 while the ball was in the air. But were both of them in the air, or was one on the ground and one in the air?
Green player receiving the ball was in the air. Second green player comes across, takes white out, competing properly for the ball.
Okay, so I don't care about the player that's in the green player that's in the air. I'm just talking about the
player was running towards preparing to jump.
Okay, so he was not in the air?
Not in the air, but in the 1 meter vicinity of where the ball was going to land.
Okay. So the green player did not have, the green player who was on the ground did not have eyes for the ball. He was not in a realistic position to play the ball.
Correct.
So we've got foul play. Yes?
Yes.
Do we have head contact?
No.
No. Moving to a different spot. How did the white player land?
White player landed on his side.
On his side. He was expecting in his ability to play. All right. I'm thinking with the information that you've given me, I've got penalty only. Penalty only at that spot. Okay. Penalty.
Okay, what is everyone's thoughts on the timing of that?
Cynical.
It took way too long.
It took way too long. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Well, ideally, your interaction should be right around 7 seconds. So it's a good first shot. The outcome, done. Here's the clip again if you want to watch it, Joe.
Penalty against White.
Just because.
Okay.
No stuff ever. Missed him.
Okay.
Outcome, penalty against blue 14. Right. Green 14, sorry. 14 green.
Okay.
And the South African referee, manager, director of referees or director of rugby has to be banned for a year. All right. So who wants to go here?
Me.
Mike Lawrenson?
I want to go.
Who's gonna Don Dowling? You cannot watch this clip. Okay, Mike.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yes, Mike. Come on.
Yeah, we know all that. Let's get to the communication part of it.
All right. Hey, Don, I have serious foul play against White.
You describe the foul play.
I have serious foul play against White. Stop the game.
Yes.
We got that. Now you guys are talking.
Got it. White 15 has led with a shoulder and hit the blue player in the neck with the ball. A direct contact, high level of force, no mitigating factors.
Direct contact to the neck head area against White 15, and we have the red card situation.
I agree.
Don't even watch it. Right. Outcome on red 15. So that was a lot simpler process, right? Direct contact to the head, high degree of force, no mitigation. Red card. Okay, I'm going to put 15 red. I'm going to set it off. Yep. All right. Who wants to go second? All right, Chuck. Joe nominated you as a AR. Mike Hacker, you're going to not watch this clip. Chuck, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, Chuck.
Okay.
You see the clip one more time?
No, I saw it. That's just a good one. Who's the ref?
Mike Hacker.
Okay. Mike, I have foul play against yellow.
15.
15. What is the foul play that you observed?
I have contact around the knees with no wrap, low degree of danger.
And your assessment would be penalties?
Yes.
Anyone think different?
See it again?
Yeah. So chop tackles are fairly serious part of the game we will want to remove. So we have a chop tackle on 15. Whether or not did that person target a joint, I would say no, but likely probably a yellow card on 16. Actually, it should be 15. All right. Phil Schwan, you ready? Phil Schwan on here? Phil?
Phil, are you at a practice or are you watching the video?
I am not at practice. I'm in my car at the moment.
Okay, so Paul Johnson, you ready to AR?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Dale Bruno. All right, Paul, here we go.
All right. Dale, I have serious foul play.
White 15, you can't read it.
Yeah, white 15. Intentional tripping. I can't tell from the clip how close they are to the try line, but I would almost go, I would definitely indicate a cardable offense, possibly penalty try. That's where I would go with it.
I would agree because it prevented her from scoring, or at least scoring in a better position.
Yeah, good. So 15 white, yellow card.
Yellow card.
Penalty try.
Paulie, you volunteered to sanction before the ref asked for it.
Yeah, sorry.
You couldn't tell, like, if you were an AR, you would know you were close to the in goal. And it was a multi-line field, so, you know, tough to see on video. And again, the 360 images for whatever I had to download that on was not great. All right, who else is on the call here? Bill?
Katie Roth is on. Bill is on.
All right, Katie Roth, you ready?
Breon.
Yep.
Angela, you're the ref? Oh, this is a good one. Sorry, hold on. I'll replay that because my thing's in the way. Let's try that again.
All right.
All right.
Who's number 3?
Angela Bruno.
All right. Angela, I have foul play. I can't see the number because it's a little blurry, but sorry, who's that?
Gold 14.
Gold 14. Gold 14 had a late hit to the kicker and shoulder contacted the head with a low force of speed.
So what does that statement tell you what this was?
Well,
so you're asking for a recommendation is kind of like the bailout of the AR.
oh, okay.
Right? She's supposed to get you there with those words. So she said those words to you. What does that mean to you?
Can you repeat your description of that again, Katie?
White 14, or sorry, gold 14 had a late hit on the kicker where her shoulder contacted the kicker's head with a low degree of force.
Can you see that as a yellow card?
I agree.
We got to follow the process, right? Head injury, with head contact. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Foul play.
Yes.
Yes, no. Degree of force?
Low.
No, it's low, high, right? Low. And then finally, mitigation. No mitigation. I don't, yeah, we're saying low, but no mitigation, yellow.
Yeah.
So no, in that case, that particular type, if it was a high degree of force.
Like she pushed her shoulder in.
Would that just automatically be a trigger to go red card?
That would be the red card, right? Because now we're at.
Once they say high degree, you started red card.
Correct.
So this could have been like something World Rugby is concentrating. I have an upright tackle with high degree of force on 14 gold.
Oh yeah, I think that was low.
Yeah.
That was not low.
Sorry, that should have been 14. I didn't change the number.
Y'all were looking,
Hmm?
Were they seeing a different?
No, it was a shoulder charge. It was a.
I thought it was a head-to-head.
No.
Is it upright tackle on 14? 14 gold, high degree force.
I think regardless.
That was a different clip. I didn't change. I was literally doing this 5 minutes beforehand, so sorry.
But yeah, it was like upright tackle, right?
Yeah.
So she didn't dip. Contact with the head.
Yeah.
That's where you get it.
She's upright.
I think eventually when it comes to these guys, they care. But for our tense purposes, I don't think they care.
It's, again, like if we're off by one, we're okay. Like if it's a yellow card and you go red or a penalty, fine. If it's a red card, you go yellow. Okay, like we can sort that out, right? We have judicial, we have citing, and we have coaches, right? But if it's penalty only and it's a red card, we should probably focus on calibration a little bit, right? So we always said that if we're off by 1 degree, we're okay. You know, this is a very difficult thing to do. Every time I do this presentation, it's like we all need to be practicing this every week. All right, so JR, you there?
I'm here.
All right, JR is going to be the AR. Jim Bruce, you are going to be the referee.
Just let citation take over.
This is a fun one, JR. This is really a fun one. So just wait the entire clip. It'll show you on the other side. You get 5 chances at it. All right. Go for it, JR.
Jim, I have foul play.
All right.
On who?
Foul play on blue number 15. High degree of danger, picking up number green, dumping him on his shoulder and head.
So head contact.
Say that again, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, tip tackle, sorry.
Yes, sir. Tip tackle. Head and shoulders hitting the ground first.
And how did the player that was tip tackle respond? Was there injury?
Player does not look to be injured based on the video.
Well, yeah, it was different, but
based on the information JR gave you.
So foul play, contact, or clear tip tackle. I guess we're talking a red card.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Red card on 14. So
I thought it was 15, sorry.
But it could very well be. It's all right. It's tough to see on these clips, but obviously we are definitely going to want to get a number in live play. Yeah.
One point of clarity I would say is that if we run that back, this is a ruck.
Yeah, it was 15. Sorry.
Right. So for clarity, because eventually Jim's got to go talk to the captain and say, this happened. This is why you're going to be seeing this color of card. If he said, hey, in the tackle, he might be really confused.
Yes.
So just be more clear with your.
Yeah.
Can
I say something?
Yes, Jim.
You got to speak up.
One thing to note there, does not make it a difference. The victim put his arm down first.
No.
Correct.
This guy, the victim landed on his arm and then kept going. You got to pretend the arm isn't there, and that's what's dangerous. There was no defense, no mitigation because the arm was down. See, watch.
In the last ruck, blue 15 picked up the green player, took him past horizontal and driven him to his head. And then that would be like, so you're telling me that blue 14 in that ruck picked up a green player and driven him past the horizontal on his head. Okay, I'm going to put 14 in the red. Or I'm going to send them off, right? All right. Freon, you ready?
Yep, I stay ready.
I'm ready. I got to update this. Craig Gilson. It's his nickname.
We'll talk about it later.
He's because he's cool as the other
Cold as ice.
Yeah.
Just
yeah. Is that? I thought Dion was.
He's got 3
money.
stories about.
Yeah, they're a lot of made up stories. They're fun.
I'll be there.
Okay, I got a serious foul play. Number 12, blue.
Yeah.
Number 12, undercut yellow while yellow was catching the ball. The blue was also going for the ball. However, it was unsafe. Hit yellow 10 very low, no mitigating factors, high degree of force, high degree of danger.
Okay. How does 10 gold land?
On the, I should have said that in the first place. Sorry about that. Head and shoulders, head and neck, high degree of danger.
So, Freon, you're telling me there's a contest in the air? There is foul play. Blue 12 committed foul play against gold 10. He landed on his head. No mitigating factors. I'm going to send 10 and 12 off.
Yeah, I agree.
Bill, you ready?
Ready?
Joe. Okay. This one's a little longer.
Yep.
All right, go, Bill.
Are you say Bill or Phil?
Bill with a B.
Then never mind. Ignore me.
Followed by
Joe's the ref.
deliberate knock on by red in a try scoring opportunity for white.
I think it was 12.
Okay. Try scoring opportunity for white. It would be okay, so that's my report to the referee.
Was there any uncalled for bodily contact?
Deliberate knock on.
Just a deliberate knock on. Bill, what about other defenders? Were there other defenders in the area that might have stopped this potential try?
No, there were no other defenders. Ball would have went out. There was an overlap of players. I can give you my recommendation if you need it.
Okay, deliberate knock on, try scoring opportunity. What do you think about a yellow card, Bill?
A yellow card would be appropriate. Yes. And a penalty try.
Very good. Thank you for your recommendations.
All right.
Try and speak English next time.
Thanks, Joe.
We had a clear overlap and red 12 deliberately knocked on the ball.
Yep.
Near in goal with no covering defense. Jim?
Sequence is,
You speak up.
sequence is penalty try, mandatory yellow.
Yeah, if you can identify the player.
Yeah. I knew it that.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, okay, if red would cop the ball.
Yep, great. Happy days.
I risk, I reward.
What's that?
I risk, I reward.
Right. But see why it would be a penalty try.
Because there's no overlap.
Overlap of players. Players overlap.
2 on none. He broke up.
That area.
Yeah. He was on the 3 meter line.
Let me rewind that a bit, Bill, if I may. Let me rewind that. Did the red player have any chance at all of catching that ball?
No. So it doesn't matter whether he had a chance to catch it or not. He prevented, with foul play, the white team from continuing to score.
So palm up, palm down.
No.
One hand, not two hands, not two-handed attempt to catch the ball, one hand. Never had a chance to catch it.
And
no.
All right.
Penalty try. Penalty try, 12's in the bin.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah. This is not a thing.
Now, if it's 2 hands, like it's just like he just dropped the ball. Now we can talk about. Now we're starting to have that conversation about is it actually just a knock on?
Yeah.
But this.
Watch it again.
Now.
Watch it again.
This is a deliberate knock on penalty try. 12's in the bin all day, every day, twice on Sundays. No legitimate chance to catch that ball. He just dropped that play.
Watch the replay. Okay, no, I believe you guys. But
I think
maybe I just want you to see what I'm.
His intent is to catch it.
But he didn't catch it.
He didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep. I get it.
Palm
Trying
up is
for it.
not a thing.
You can try well.
This is when
Goodly.
the intentional knock on, like in 7s, it's almost a yellow card.
Yellow card and penalty try.
Yeah.
In 15, this is when it's
Because it's that high risk, high reward, right? There's nobody home. You as the referee are running 100 meters.
He knows he's not tackled. That's his only chance.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Mike Bloy, you're the AR. Since Brighton, you're on your phone. I don't know if you can see the clips. Mike Bloy, you're the AR. Jim Russell is the referee. You ready, Mike?
Yes.
Replays on this one, Mike.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Jim, I have serious foul play against black and red. Number 20 chop tackle. Not sure if it went for a joint, but it was definitely below the knees, and a low degree of force, Jim.
One quick thing before Jim answers. You said you had serious foul play. What is that triggering Jim to think about?
Red card.
Do I have a foul play report? Unless you think it's a red card, Mike.
Okay.
By you saying, I don't know if he targeted a joint or if he got him in the ankle, to me, that doesn't mean serious foul play. All right, Jim.
It looked very, very close to the knee, so that's why I said I thought it was serious. But over to you, Jim.
Foul play for dangerous tackle, at or below the knee, with force, correct?
Correct. No wrap.
Yeah. And where was this on the pitch?
5 meters from Red's try line.
Possible try?
No.
Foul play, penalty, and red card for the hit with force. You agree?
Yes.
So you said a yellow card. Couldn't really see the joint, and the force was just a chop tackle, which is fine. We're one off. We're okay.
If he said with force.
Yeah, like I said, this
is
something we all need practice on. Right?
This next one's a red card. This next one's a red card. no matter what you say.
Against blue.
Against green 10.
The next one's a red card, no matter what you say.
Oh, we'll just watch
Running with
it.
his knees high.
We'll just watch it.
In the sake of time, this should play on.
He already needs one of them.
Okay.
Barrel.
Looks like 10 came off worse for wear.
And yeah,
Time served.
Does anybody want to discuss what this should be? Using the framework?
Work through the framework.
I'll
Their
take
head
it if you want.
Sure.
Okay. I've got a serious foul play. I've got white number 10 had strike to the head and neck area, no wrap as well, and no mitigating factors, high degree of force.
With Freon, when you say strike, when you say strike, make sure that you give the freedom of strike, I guess, like shoulder.
Yeah, that with his shoulder. That is with his shoulder to the head and neck. Yeah.
It was a shoulder to the chest, which moved up to the neck and head.
That's where I messed up.
Direct contact. He hits him in the chest and stuff. This is indirect contact. Sorry, Mike Lawrence. I know you don't think it is, but it's indirect contact.
No, but you know what they called in the game? Nothing. Play on.
So indirect contact to the head with high degree of force, and the indirect contact being a yellow card.
He didn't even wrap. He didn't even wrap either.
That's why it's a yellow card.
not getting carded.
Yeah. We didn't give him a card.
This is a good one. I'll describe how I'd want that.
Play on.
RKO out of nowhere.
Jim, I have serious foul play. Number 12, black with a lifting tackle. Took his opponent past the horizontal and driven him into the ground on his head.
Double red card.
Jim, what do you think?
Hey.
Yes.
Foul play, high degree of force, head contact, red card.
Boom.
Yeah.
Leave the Sharks alone.
No mitigation.
Thank you. Advantage.
This is a fun one. Because there is an equal contest in the air, but that pull down right there where he lands on his lower head and neck. So there is a fair challenge, but there is foul play with the player pulling him down, landing him.
Pull down have been that horrible if Green 6 hadn't provided fulcrum.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're legally allowed to put it.
Yellow card on Izzy Fella, which is no longer a thing. Sorry. Trying to get through these. I have a lot of these clips, but
I want to talk about
how old is this?
I want to do the
oh, this is there surely was a GMO on this one.
Got it right? Did you know how to use it?
Yep.
Yellow card penalty right.
Sounds exactly like that, yeah.
Oh, we won't do this one. This one is too much. This one's too much. Red card. Yeah, I'll send this presentation out.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, Mark. Any questions?
Well done, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, great. Hey, so quickly, we're just gonna talk about technical zone, the actions of the technical zone. So in our matches here, sometimes we get to have sub-controllers, technical zone managers, numbers 4s, 5s, whatever. So we're just going to briefly talk about things that those people should be managing. Turn off my camera. Okay, so technical zones are here, right? If they're marked out, this is what they should be. They should be 10 meters long, 2 meters off the line of touch, and then they're about 3 meters deep. They kind of just go on infinitum. If they're not marked out, it's from the 10-meter line to the 22. That's where they can, the coaches are not allowed to prowl the sidelines all the way up and down. They are also on the same side of the pitch. They're not on opposite sides. This is not American football. We have a technical zone, so that way we can manage substitution. Warm-ups. So assuming that there's, you know, loads and loads of fans on either side, teams are allowed to have their replacements warm up. Warming up, they're supposed to wear something that differentiates themselves from their teammates on the field. So that would be a bib, a shirt, jersey inside out. Doesn't really matter. These players are not on the field. Eliminate confusion. They are allowed to warm up beyond the dead ball line in the direction that their team would be scoring. Does everybody understand that? So if team A is going this direction, they're trying to score here, they can warm up here. They are not allowed to bring toys, right? That means that they're not allowed to bring balls, scrum pads, pool noodles, nothing, okay? They are also not allowed to infringe while in here, right? So the idea is that they're supposed to be beyond the dead ball line. As play starts going towards them, they all step beyond the dead ball line and are just there, all right? Because what we don't want to have happen is a defender thinking, oh no, there's a player here, I have to mark him. And that's the problem, okay? Finally, water, right? So this is a common issue. So there can be competition-based rules, and then there are the rules of the game of rugby, or the laws of rugby. So as it stands right now, you can two water carriers can run out onto the field and join the team that just got scored on in their in goal. And then the other team, the team that just scored, is allowed to give water to their team on the side that they're going to receive their 10-meter line. So they would be here, right? That's based off of law. Some competitions say that they have to be on this side of the halfway line and inside the 5-meter channel. It is up to you to determine this factor, okay? If you don't know, ask. Any questions on that?
So then once you do that, you ask, you know that it's supposed to be, you know, in the
Yep.
5-meter on their half, and et cetera. Then you are telling that to the coach, you're telling that to the water boy.
I would say that just as much as you as the referee should only really talk to the captain, you as the number 4 should only talk to one designated person on a team. So a lot of times what we're talking about right now is what's happening at Infinity Park, right? So with Infinity Park, the Super Rugby Americas, it's the referee manager, because he's guaranteed to speak at least a little bit of English, or it's Scott, and you can think he speaks English well enough, and we can communicate through them, right? The water boys do not speak English often, or they will plead no English and then speak in an Australian accent after the game, and you go, I thought you were Georgian. Any questions?
Yeah, what's that half-meter circle in the middle designated?
There's supposed to be a half-meter line that is in the middle of the pitch, or that is where it restarts to be.
That's new line.
So are you just talking about the layout and kind of protocol at the game? But what about, are you also substitution?
Sure, we can talk about substitution. So I'm not going to go over number of substitutions based off of how many front row eligible players there are. That is up to you. You should know that. That is typically one of the questions as part of the law quiz on the app, right? They have 5 front row eligible players. How many total players are they allowed to have, right? We're not going to go over that. But
okay, I'm sure that you go over that.
No. I'm getting to the next part. The best case scenario that you can do is say there are 6 front row eligible players on each side, so which means that we get to play with 23, right? 23 per team. Away we go. That means that they get 8 substitutions. But do they get 8 substitutions? Are there ways for them to have more than 8 substitutions? There are 4 different ways to have 8 substitutions. Anybody like to care to try to go through the 4 different ways that they can earn additional substitutions? So you got a blood or an HIA. We don't do HIA here, so we're just going to say a blood substitution, which is, Angela, this is your favorite fact. How long is a blood substitution? 15 minutes of real time. We don't talk about HIA.
And 17.
We don't talk about HIA. So it's 15 minutes of real time, right? So you look at your watch, and right now it's 8:30 p.m. They have to say that they are eligible to return by 8:45 p.m.
What if halftime comes at 8?
They have to be eligible to return by the end of halftime. Okay, so that's one way. What are other ways?
Yellow card.
So if there's a yellow card of the front row, it is a free replacement to take a player off the field and then put a front row player on. Okay.
Tactical sub for a front row, the substitute then gets hurt. The original front row player can come back up.
Right. So that is right. So if there's nobody else, so a player 18 comes on for 3 as a tactical substitution. Player 18 then gets injured. Player 3 can come back on. It's a free substitution for that player. Finally, what's the 4th one? There's an injury due to the result of foul play. That is a free substitution. So one of Mark's clips, guy goes up in the air, gets tunneled, lands on his head, We take 35 minutes to get them off the field because the ambulance is late. That player, that substitution, that is a free substitution. That does not count towards their 8. Any questions?
It still limits their players.
It's more like, hey, like maybe that guy was a substitute, or we previously had a tactical substitution. Now we're putting that guy back in. Right. And it has to happen at that time. It's not like, I think I can play on, and then his ankle still hurts him or something. I don't know. And so he steps off, right? Any questions?
Yeah, in that instance, can the team use a 9th player?
Where would you get the 9th player?
Well,
off the roster?
He's off roster, yeah. That's what I'm asking.
It's got to be on the roster at the time of the game. So an example that I would give is that we had a player get injured from the Raptors in warmups last week. And they couldn't pull from a non-rostered player because he was on the roster at the time the game started. He got hurt in warmups. JR, do you have a question?
I do. So team scores, their players will be on the dead ball line, and the team scores, and those players who are beyond the dead ball line come on to congratulate them in the in-goal area, and that's still okay?
Yeah, it's discouraged, but that's not something that I would stick my nose into unless we start getting into fisticuffs or bumping, and otherwise unsportsmanlike actions. They're still players, but you can't card players not on the field. So don't stick your nose into that kind of situation unless you really have to.
Right, but if something does happen, as a referee, you can say, hey, your players cannot come onto the field or any part of it at all.
I would address the captain as well.
Okay, cool.
Otherwise, I have nothing else. As people can see, I didn't bring my charger, so my computer's about to die. So are there any questions?
No, thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys.
Look to your emails for additional stuff. Talk to you later.
Thanks very much.